for joining us here on the big show. I'm your host, Jerk, and I appreciate, no doubt, the fact that you are standing in line waiting for your free tickets to be a member of this live studio audience when I announced who we'd have gracing our presence today. Obviously, we knew it was coming, so I won't dilly-dally any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and join me in welcoming our very special guest, the brand spanking new Premium Tier 7 Japanese battle cruiser. Give it up for Azuma. That's right, Azuma. Azuma grad. Azuma the mighty riding through the forest. The last time we had them on the show, I think I said, well, we will never see that again, as it was just suffering in so many areas to allow it to compete. The DPM wasn't that good, the reload was pretty poor, really the only thing it excelled at were AA and, looking good. But beauty fades, or so I'm told, and as such, Azuma was taken to the shop to have her ride pimped. And pimped it is. But first, let's see who will be ghost riding the whip. A 16 Legendary 3 Weeb with Betty Daviside, Storm and Norman Scott, and the reigning Iron Chef, Isiroko Yamamoto. So, first thing we did, dog, was we gave your battle boat a new paint job, and then I heard you liked penetration, so we took your penetration and gave you more penetration, and then gave you more penetration on top of that. Then we gave you better dispersion and grouping, and then we increased the damage of all your shells. And you know how much that cost you? 5 degrees of penetration. Pro tip for those of you here that aren't already in the know, I am shooting the Hipper with HE, as large caliber HE is the kryptonite of the Hipper. I had already knocked their engine in a previous salvo, and I am going to knock it again for an extended period of time on this next one, which will allow me to finish them for the first ship sunk. And speaking of shell types, just because all these things were buffed on this ship doesn't mean it is now the easiest ship to play. It is still covered in 27 millimeters of armor, which means HE is also very effective on it, and that 406s still overmatch you. And while the reload is a little faster, the name of the game for getting the most out of your brand new, now looking 20 years younger Azuma is that you need to be a precog, and requiring that will put few players in the minority according to this report. But if you can open your mind's eye to your next reload and think about 20 seconds ahead, then you can definitely smash teams in this ship now with ease. Alright, adjust your pocket protectors because we are about to nerd out for a moment and talk numbers. Don't worry, not specific numbers, but just some general numbers. Our current Azuma has about 1.5% better penetration than it does on PC. Not much there, but it is 18.5% better than where it was before. Check out this salvo. Oof. Almost 13,000 damage. Anyway, adding on Azure Lane Azuma nets me the potential for an additional 10% of penetration, though currently in this build I only have 7, and then adding on Yamamoto has the potential for an additional 6% on top of that. Add in the fact that Azure Lane Azuma also increases your AP damage even more, and I believe when I have her maxed out, Citadel shots are going to be very close to 10,000. Currently, in this build, it is 9,600 and I think 50. Either way, yikes. If that hits 10,000, that is a potential 90,000 damage salvo. Or if it's just regular penetrations, 30,000. That is pretty serious business, and I'm going to give you an example of that in a moment once we hit a lull in this game, so to speak. You have heard me call this Azuma grad, and I am not really trying to imply it is on the same level, but it plays very similarly, which is why I'm way out here in Neverland, getting as far away from my team as possible and relishing in being the introvert everyone made fun of in high school, but who is now running the show in college. The penetration does not even come close to Stalingrad, so you can't expect that, but it is such leaps and bounds above where it was, and you add in the fact that in a few weeks it won't have to see legendary tier ships, and in a way this does become the Japanese Stalingrad only at tier 7. I have been playing this ship a lot since its buff and experimenting with various things since we don't have training rooms, and I managed to catch a broadside Yamato at about 13.5 kilometers and was certain I would be able to finally crack that 410 millimeters of Citadel armor, and I did it over the course of 3 salvos. But no, I still couldn't, and I don't think I could until I get Azurlane Azuma up to Legendary 4. So if you could donate me 15 Universal Commendations, that'd be great, because by the time I have those saved up, Yamato and Azuma matchmaking will be long gone. However, I do have a clip of something slightly less armored and being a little bit closer that I can share with you now while we traverse this map to get into a better position. As hard as it is to believe, the old Azuma would struggle to do that shot right there, but the new Azuma is shouting from the top of their lungs, "Respect my authority." Have I got your attention now, Vladivostok? Good. Now, it is a shame, look at that grouping, it is a shame that does not just sink them right there, though. The next salvo I did. Anyway, let's get back to the previous match. I'm sure you're tired of hearing it almost as much as I am tired of saying it, but you see where my team is? You see where I am? Why, I'm going where my team isn't, once again, and I am fully on the Kraken hunt at this point. I had first thought that we had an AFK destroyer over here, as the red destroyer was in a fail division with that red Pensacola that we sank earlier, but it is in fact this Mayoko who has me spotted, and so I knew if I could get this ship sunk, it was nearly a guarantee that we would get the Kraken in this match. To their credit, this Mayoko's doing a pretty good job. Had I not gone around this way, they could have really become a major pain in my team's side, because they would be able to keep my team spotted all clustered in that group in the middle, and the ships on the red team would have crossfires onto them. But I did go this way, and I switched over to HE because they were doing an effective job of tanking me. So once I get this salvo loaded, I'm pretty sure, unless my team yoinks this, that we will have our 4th ship sunk. So I'm trying to line it up right there, and yes, there we go. All right, 4th ship sunk, about face. Now we are going to turn directly towards where all the red ships are and encourage our teammates, hey, why don't you guys go cap this, right? This is when you're playing against your team. Now, we did want to win this match, and we had a very good chance of winning it anyway, but I also know that if I can get my teammates to go up to B in their big cluster, well, that's going to leave far more ships for me to sink and almost guarantee the Kraken at that point. And again, my rule of thumb, if I look at the minimap and I see which direction my team is heading, I generally always point the opposite direction, because if everybody on your team is a potato, if you're going in the same direction, then you must be a potato too. So, I'm not really saying that about my team. They're doing what needs to be done to actually win this match, so I'm fully supporting them. I'm not calling anybody names. Now, an interesting thing does happen here pretty soon, and that's going to be that the Maz somehow gets spotted, and I'm not sure how it is. I've gone back and watched this a couple times, and I think maybe they're proxy spotted by this Flandre or whatever battleship we have here. Is that a Flandre? I don't know, but either way, we are about to spot this Maz, and we will slowly take the shot. All right, I'm getting spotted there. Yeah, so our battleship was 4 kilometers there, which would put that at about 6. I don't know how they get spotted. Did they shoot their guns? Either way, I'm turning, and we're going to get a salvo off, and, you know, the accuracy might be pretty good, but it is not that good. Either way, thinking 20 seconds ahead, I'm going to sink this moss for the Kraken. So I have switched over to HE. I don't have Hydro ready right now, but I am going to bow into them to try and get as close as possible if they squirt out of their smoke, or maybe I can get them with RGA, or maybe they will just back out and try and spot me or something. Either way, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. I'm just trying to think of all the options they can do. But I think what happens here is our Belfast 43 must have had radar on for a hot second. Either way, we get the shot off, and we get Kraken 405 in the Azuma. So that was feeling pretty good. And at this point, I was thinking, we have a potential six-pack here. We also have a potential jackpot here. There is plenty of time. You know, we have 3 caps. The red team has 1, so we're not going to cap out on points too quickly, and there's almost a 100% chance that the red team is headed towards D. Fortunately, since I turned this way early, that kind of gives me a bit of a lead on the rest of my team for being able to get into the position that I want to set up the crossfire against that team the way that I want it to be. Now, one thing that I like to know before going into a battle like this that I don't know in this one is what is the health pool of the remaining red ships. I don't know if they're full health. Well, it looks like that Azuma is. So I've got to kind of play accordingly. I go ahead and shoot my AP and immediately switch to HE because 9 times out of 10, ships are going to bow tank. All right. Ganiza now we see is fairly weak. They get a decent shot on me there. And here's my thought process. I want the double strike. I want to sink both of these. So if I can get this shot on the Ganiza now, I think I should be able to get some very good damage on him, potentially a fire. But somehow my shells just missed. So I have switched back over to the AP because I have a plan right now. Now, the Azuma directly in front of me, who is going to be top of their leaderboard as well, they have to start angling pretty soon because there is the battleship directly in front of them to the north. So I'm kind of setting up a crossfire here. On the other hand, maybe this Azuma is just sacrificing themselves. I'm not sure, but we're going to get the 6th ship sunk right there, and we are going to get our rear turret over and see if we can't get a jackpot right here. Alrighty, let's see this scoreboard. 3,128 base XP for a very good game, and a GG to the red team as well, but a big oof to that red Pensacola. That hurts. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you too have taken the glasses off Azuma, given her a makeover, and are taking her to prom, give this video a like. But if you sold yours a long time ago and are now realizing that maybe that was an error in judgment, give it a dislike. Questions, comments, leave them down below. And if you want to make sure and not miss the next episode, then think about hitting subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks. I will get back out there for another, and we will talk then.